Hello, welcome everyone to FMC. I am Jeremy. That is SP3. It is Tuesday, March 5th, a little bit later than usual. I think I personally am still recovering from the weekend. I know SP3 got back yesterday as well, but SP3, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing well, despite my voice being in shards of glass, like the ones that Darby Allin went through, and people started going apoplectic about on social media. So that's what my voice is like right now, shards of glass, because it was a fun weekend. Got to hang out with Jeremy, got to have some fun, and we got some stories to discuss.
We do. So a little bit different usual FMC. Sorry. I mean, if you want to brag about the Lakers beating the Thunder last night, you're more than welcome to. I didn't watch a single second of the game. I didn't watch it, so I have no idea what happened. I don't want to face the Lakers in a playoff series.
No one does. No one should. No one should. That's a
well. I think the Nuggets want to. I don't think the Nuggets care, but
we will whoop those Nuggets' ass.
They're
in one game. We will get one game. We will get one more game.
7-0 with moral victories against the Nuggets.
We are gonna get one more victory than we got last year in the playoffs. I guarantee that.
You'll get those moral victories. You're racking up the moral victories against the Nuggets. The Thunder, the Lakers aren't a good matchup for them, so I don't want to see them at all. Hopefully, we can. I'm prepared for this first round exit for OKC. I've been saying it all year. I'm prepared for this first round exit. It's gonna happen. I'm very excited to bet against the underdog, whoever the Lakers play or whoever the Thunder play in the first round. Very excited to bet on the other team.
So I would never bet against my own team. That's ridiculous.
Oh well, I know. I made money last night betting on the Lakers.
I'm glad one of us did. I got to check my parlays. I don't think they went too well because Jalen. What did Jalen Williams get? Did he get 20 points?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I saw he had like 6 points with like 3 minutes left in the third, and I was like, yeah, this parlay is busted.
Yeah. I never bet on my own team. I just don't. I can't do it because then you like lose twice. Sometimes like. If they win, like it's okay. It's like, all right. Because it's not like I bet big enough anyway. But it's like, okay, at least we won. But then like if they lose the game and you also like don't win your bets, it's like you lose twice on that night.
Well, why would you want to do that? I'm fine with not winning the bet as long as my players do what they need to do. And I usually the only guarantees I only go with the Lakers is Anthony Davis rebounds and probably like LeBron points. And usually that pans out. Except if LeBron has a bad shooting night.
Yeah. Nah, I bet on the Lakers last night, so appreciate them.
You're welcome.
Victory, as I knew they would.
And the miraculous comeback victory against the Clippers. Don't think I forgot, people. Just because I have half a voice doesn't mean I forget about you Clippers. You Clippers don't want to see us in no goddamn playoffs either. Because you're saying, all this time, we own the Lakers. We've been beating them in the regular season. Oh, what's happening now? I don't hear none of that nonsense from you Clippers with your new rebranded generic freaking jersey, your walking clown shoe jerseys. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that nonsense. I'm not down with that. Clippers, 21 points, 98-77. I went to sleep at 98-77. Come up and wake up to the Lakers coming back. LeBron James with 19 points in the fourth quarter. Turnaround got 40,000 first player. 40,000 this week. We didn't get the win there, and I was in a bar watching that, and that was kind of sad. But
we didn't like finish watching it. As far as we know, I mean, the Lakers were winning when we walked away.
I finished watching at 106-105 Lakers.
Yeah.
So I finished the night with the Lakers on top. But yeah, we didn't get that win. But yeah, I've been liking the way they've been playing. Even that game, I like the way they played that game. You know, the Nuggets are just a better team. The Nuggets, the Clippers, those are the two best teams in the Western Conference. But right now, after that victory, that come from behind victory last week against the Clippers, I feel like we have a mental edge against them. So I rather, if it's the two best teams in the West, in my opinion, if I had to pick one to go against, it's definitely the Clippers.
Fair. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to face the Nuggets. I
No.
don't think anybody. Look, I've been calling Jason Tatum a fraud all season. But I did pick Boston to win the title in our season preview. So I'm playing both sides here. Either Jason Tatum's going to be a fraud and I'm going to be correct, or Boston's going to win the title and I'm going to be correct. Can't lose. I play both sides, so I always win.
Smart man.
So
Smart
they look good right now. Anything else basketball you wanna talk about?
That is all. I just had to give y'all a mini, when the preacher like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have a somber sermon today because my voice is a little hoarse. Me and the wife, we went on a cruise this weekend. That's how the preacher is. I'm telling you, I grew up in the black church, so that's how it is. It's usually after Easter weekend. He Easter weekend. He was like, we're gonna have a little calm Easter Sunday because me and the wife went on an Easter vacation on a cruise. So yeah, that's how I gave y'all the sermon this week because of that 21-point comeback. But that's all for the NBA for me.
All right, so we usually don't talk about wrestling on this show. I don't even know how much wrestling we're actually going to talk about on this show. Like we'll talk
It's
about
an adventure every day before we even get to Revolution.
Yeah. So as people know, SP3 and I went to AEW Revolution this past weekend. And we got stories to share, SP3, because we did hang out every day on the trip. And we had a whole lot of fun at Revolution for Sting's last match. We both got in on Friday and we went to we'll start at the beginning here. All right. We both got in on Friday. I got in very late on Friday. What time did you actually get to Greensboro?
I got to Greensboro just before 12 p.m. because I was supposed to land at like 11:58. But
so you got in pretty early.
Yo, the flights there are fast, man. Going there and coming back.
Yeah,
I got a whole story. Yeah. I got a whole story to tell y'all for my trip coming back home. So I'll tell y'all that when we get to the end. But the trip there, I took the connecting flight from from New York to Charlotte and then Charlotte to Greensboro. The one from Charlotte to Greensboro was like 20 minutes. I've never been on a plane that was that fast. It was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, Charlotte to Greensboro. That's only like an hour drive. So yeah, the flight isn't very long at all. I've had to, because Charlotte's like a big hub. So flights are always coming out. Greensboro is a small little airport. There's not too many flights in and out of there. So yeah, that's why I know a lot of people had to, wherever they were flying from, went to Charlotte first and then went to the Greensboro airport. All right, so you got in pretty early. I didn't leave until after 1 o'clock. So I didn't get there until it was about a 7-hour drive. So I got there shortly after 8, got checked in, messaged SP3. I was like, what are you guys doing tonight? They're going to Barcade Boxcar in Greensboro. I was very familiar with this Barcade because I'd been kicked out of this Barcade before. A long time ago. It was my friend's bachelor party. And he had too much to drink. We were like leaving anyway. He didn't cause a scene or anything, but like he definitely had too much to drink and he was just stumbling around and they were like, you guys got to go. And we know he's had too much. Like we're leaving. So like, it wasn't like we were too rowdy, got kicked out or anything. It was, he'd had too much. And then he threw up in our other friend's car. So he was definitely way past it. So I'd been, ushered out. I don't want to say kicked out. That makes it sound more dramatic. I'd been ushered out of Boxcar before. So I was very familiar with this place. So I got there and I'm waiting on SP3 and I'm like, where are you? I was like, oh, we're waiting outside. We're waiting for another one of our friends. So I'm like, there's this little like patio area that I was kind of standing and I saw somebody in a Sting jacket. It was like it was like three of you at this point. But I saw somebody in a Sting jacket. I sent you a message of like, are you with someone in a Sting jacket? And you didn't reply to me. And so I didn't want to just like yell like, hey, Sid, SP3, and then it's like not you. But so I was not gonna do that. I was just gonna wait until I saw you guys come in. Turns out it was Josh from True Heel Heat. Josh was wearing the Sting jacket. I was like, oh, like I didn't think they were gonna. Obviously, I knew Revolution was in town. There are probably gonna be people around, but I didn't think there were too many people standing outside a Boxcar wearing a Sting jacket when you said, yes, we're standing outside a Boxcar waiting for our other friend. But again, I wasn't going to yell and be like, SP3, hey, and then just like people turn and look at me and like, fuck. Who's this man? Somebody get this man.
So
So
on my end, up until this point, so I was told, I got off the plane. We went to Bojangles to eat. I
as
heard
you have to do.
that's a North Carolina staple. So we went up and did that. Good chicken, good dirty rights. Enjoyed that. Then we hung out for a bit, and then they told me, "Oh, we're going to Boxcar tonight." And I'm like, "Okay, what's Boxcar?" And they're like, I think it was Josh. He's like, "Oh, they said it's like Dave and Buster's." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. All right, that sounds cool. It's like an arcade and stuff." I've been to plenty of Dave and Buster's. They never checked my ID there at Dave and Buster's. So I did not think that I was like, oh, I need to bring, because I haven't been to a DMV since like the pandemic. So I don't have a state ID. I'll just have my passport. So I left my passport in my friend's house and go out. And then I look at the place when we're driving by. I'm like, oh man, do I have my ID for this? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I mean, y'all might have wanted to tell me after we drove for like 15, 20 minutes. But yeah, I don't have one. I was like, and then I look in my wallet as we're waiting for my friend to find parking around, because it was very busy in that area.
Hate downtown. Hate it. Absolutely hate any downtown area with parking. I parked a little ways away. It wasn't too bad of a walk. It was only maybe like 4 minutes or so. But I did find like a nice little parking area. Usually you can find nice parking a little ways out, but I just hate downtown. I always get super stressed out.
Yeah, I saw that with this whole experience, because we were waiting out there at least like 15, 20 minutes for him to find parking. But yeah, then we go up. He's like, oh yeah, my friend works security, so don't worry. Don't worry about it. They're gonna let you in. I was like, okay. So I looked at my wallet, and I had like an expired ID on there. And I'm like, I mean, it has my birthday on there. I mean, that's what you should be checking on an ID. But then I saw they have the machines or whatever, and I was like, oh, you're not checking what's my age. You're checking when the last time I went to a DMV at this point. So we asked them, oh, can we get in with an expired ID? They're like, no, it can only be 30 days over. My friend Kelvin, who was the host, he found out that his ID is like expired by 24 days. It was like, oh, we can let you in. It has to be like 30 days or less. And they're like, okay. And then we're like, all right, so we're stuck. They're like, there's nothing we could do. They like call in their friend to see when he's going to get there, because he's working a wrestling event at Boxcar, and they're like, oh, he could get you in for the wrestling event probably. And it's like, okay. So we're waiting outside. Me and Jeremy is just chatting in a bit, and then we get informed that while me and Jeremy are chatting, my friends are kind of like over on the side here, and I guess they're formulating a plan. They decide they're going to go inside the True Hill Heat Gang. They're going to go inside and they're going to scan out the joint. They scan out the joint, see where all the exits are at. They see where the wrestling is at. And they devise a plan to get me in without this ID. I don't know if you want to give your perspective of it, but that is what was going on as we were talking and finally met up with each other.
So you could kind of tell. So there's like two doors. There's the door like right by the entrance to the check IDs, and there's a door a little bit further down. I even said to you, I was like, I feel like you could just like walk through that door and no one's gonna care. No one's gonna check anything. But we didn't do anything. We were chatting, but yeah, everybody else was like plotting, like, yeah, we're just gonna get you through that door over there. And so eventually that's just what we did. You went through, so I didn't know exactly. No. Yeah, go ahead. You tell us.
It's in the wildest way possible, because they formulated a plan, and one of my friends, Austin, he's gonna be the designated person to get me into that door. Because me and Jeremy were talking, and I was like, oh, what I can do is I can walk down by where the security was at, the same stairs I went up, and I could just walk down those, walk like I'm walking towards the parking lot, wait a few minutes, walk back up the other stairs that's by the other entrance or exit, and I can walk right through there when someone is coming out. I was trying to devise that all the while they're coming up with their own plan. So they come back to us. My friend John is like explaining the plan. He's like, so yeah, Austin's gonna go back there. He's gonna go to the back entry. He's gonna open the door for you. You just go around the people and you go in. And I'm like, okay, so when is he gonna be there? They're like, right now. And I turn around, and Austin, in the most obvious way possible has the door open with the people looking at him, and he's like a freaking person telling the plane to come in for a flight. Like he's like, and I go around the people. I wait a second, and I like signal to him. I'm like, "Are you at least looking at them?" He's like, "Come on, man. Come on, man." With a southern accent, cause like, "Come on, man." And I walk in, and I was like, well, "Did you at least see if they were watching me?" He was like, "Nah, you good, you good, you good." I was like, "All right." I was like, "Where's the wrestling?" Because Kelvin had told me to go in the back to the wrestling event. And I was like, "Okay." I went in the back to the wrestling event. So when I was outside and they saw me when I was with Jeremy, it was raining. So I had my jacket zipped up. I had a beanie hat on. So I decide when I go into the wrestling event, I pay $20 for the wrestling event. I get a wristband. I get a bag that has a comic book in it. I immediately take off my jacket, put the jacket into the bag. I take off my beanie hat, put that into the bag. I'm literally going to order a drink and watch the wrestling event. And I get a text from John, take off the beanie hat. And I'm like, I already did.
So
and I get a message from Jeremy. They're looking for you. And I'm
yes.
like, oh, my friends are looking for me. So I go with my drink.
So from my perspective, you'd walked away. I figured you got in because I see Austin come around to the door, the bar area door, and he got stopped. And the security stopped him, or whoever stopped him, and they're like, "Can we see your ID?" And they check his ID. Austin's ID is fine because they were not the one. These are not the ones you're looking for. So Austin's ID is fine. And then so they check his ID, that checks out. And then like it's a group of like 3 or 4 of the security people, the hosts, whatever, and they're like talking, and they're saying like, "Did you see where he went?" Like, "Yeah, I thought we just checked the guy with the Ohio State hoodie. That wasn't him. He had a different hoodie on." And they're like, "Well, what did the other person look like?" And I can say this, you've already made this joke when we were together. He's like, "It was a short black dude with a beanie." And that was the description. I was like, that's when I texted you like, "Oh, they're looking for you." Because then I see them like wander around, like 2 of them like leave, they wander around, they're on the walkie-talkies, like, "Have you seen this person? Have you seen this person?" And so like I'm just waiting to truthfully, I was waiting them to come over to me and just be like, because me and like Stat King and I think Josh was still like chilling out there. I was waiting for them to come over to us and be like, "Hey, where's your friend go?" I was just gonna lie and be like, "Well, he just left. He went to go back to get his ID." Like, I don't know. I haven't seen him. But they never came up to ask us any questions. So they're like looking around and stuff. I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna go in now and hopefully everything's fine." We go in and we meet up, and I guess they finally they the heat was off of you because they stopped looking, but they still were looking for a little bit. And then you took the beanie off and the hoodie off. So I was like, "Well, what are they do? Racially profile another person?" They've already stopped one dude. They've already stopped one black guy with a hoodie. So they can try it again, and then maybe they're wrong again, and it's like, well, shit.
They're racially profiling short black men, like because of me. And like the funniest part was Kelvin tells me after the fact that one of the times, because when I finally meet up with you after you told me they're looking for you, I like say, "Oh, we can't beat by each other too much, because they're still looking." So we like come together, we say something, then I go back into the wrestling event. And by the time Kelvin comes into the wrestling event, he said that the security guard that they sent in looking for me is standing next to me at the bar. And it's like he doesn't know. He's looking for a beanie hat. That's all he's looking
for. I think they were at that point just looking for the beanie hat. And then once you took that off, it's like, well, shit. Yeah, and we've already stopped one short black guy. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep just stopping short black dudes in here without a lawsuit on our hands. So we swung and missed. We just got to accept the fact that dude snuck in, and we got to move on with our lives. And I'm sure they did, because you guys stayed a little while after, but me and you, we played some X-Men. We played a game of X-Men. We got to like level 3, and then you were still kind of like, because they were still looking around. So I know you went into the wrestling event. I saw the wrestling event was $20. No offense to anybody working this show. I did not want to pay $20 to like not watch wrestling, because I probably wasn't going to stay the whole time. I wasn't going to pay attention to a whole lot of wrestling. So like, I'm not just going to pay $20 to not watch wrestling. So I messaged you after I saw everybody go in there. I was like, I don't feel like paying $20 to not watch wrestling. It's like, I'm going to play the hoops game here. Shot put. Papa shot.
Shootout.
Yeah, but they call it Papa shot. I'm going to play, Papa shot here, and then I'm probably going to leave. So you came out, we played Papa shot. I beat you. I beat you in the Papa shot, so racism is solved.
And I had to redeem. I literally had to redeem myself. Jeremy's like, "No, I'm done." And I was like, "No, I gotta go again."
Yeah.
And I dropped 40. I dropped more than he did when he beat
second game. Second game was a lot better for you. Just get warmed up.
Yeah. I was just getting warmed up. But that was a fun first night. We literally were like talking over how that plan came together and how Austin literally just listened. It was like they gotta play it, and he was like, "Okay." He left like he didn't even listen to the plan. Like I'm in the process of hearing the plan to get into the back door, and he's already back there with the door open. Like we were joking the whole weekend. We were like, he is Groot from the first Guardians of the Galaxy when they try to come up with the plan to escape jail, and Groot just go, "Oh, we need that one piece," and Groot goes, "Oh, this?" And then the whole alarm goes off, and they kind of panicked. That was we literally changed his name in our group chat to "I am Groot."
We did boxcar the first night. I dipped out a little bit early because I was tired from the drive. I was like, I'm going back. I'm going to sleep. So I know you guys stayed for a little while longer, and you met up with Lyric and.
Yeah, I literally like ran into her. I ran into her at Boxcar. I said hi to her. She was hanging out with some other girls from Wrestle Peers. So a bunch of other like wrestling fans in the wrestling event. Griff Garrison and John Schuyler and Savannah Evans were on that wrestling event. I think that was called Slam Jammers. Yeah. So that was pretty fun. I always like the kind of bar atmosphere with a wrestling event. It's different from the other indie events that I go to. So yeah, it was a nice first night at Boxcar.
Yeah, if you haven't been to Greensboro and you are ever in the area, Boxcar is a very fun place. There's a lot to do, a lot of arcade games. They do have the little event center in the back. Obviously, they were doing wrestling for this past weekend, but I'm sure they do other events and stuff out there. Yeah, Boxcar is a really nice place. Yes, and then that was the end of night one. Night two, day two, we met up at round one. So malls are out of style. I don't know how many malls there are in like any areas anymore, but Greensboro still has a giant mall.
Yeah.
And in this giant mall is a place called Round One. It's a bowling. This is more like Dave and Buster's.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and there's a bunch of, arcade games and stuff. So we met up there. But before we get to us getting together, do we want to say who you guys met at the food court?
So we decided we were first going to the mall. We wanted to go to bowling, but we realized like the food wasn't what we wanted there. So we went around the mall. We went to the food court. So we're randomly like walking around the food court looking for whatever meal that we want to get. And we were randomly walking by Charlie's. Like all of us is like one by one, like in a line and going. And I like immediately to my right, I noticed a guy in a black blazer. He's got a bedazzled blazer. He's got a black ponytail with the bald spot. He's got an iced out Christian cross. And I was like, that's only one person. I've been to Ring of Honor events for nearly 2 decades. And I was there when they used to come. I was like, that's Papa Buck. And then I see the missus next to her, the beautiful Mama Buck as well. And I'm like, I tell one of my friends behind me, I'm like, oh, that's Papa Buck. And Josh is immediately like, oh, yeah, that's Papa. Oh, shit, that's the Young Bucks. That's the Young Bucks right with them. The whole family's here. I was like, oh, shit. All right, we going to Charlie's Philly Cheesesteak. We were just stood online right behind them. Someone came up to them and asked them to like take a picture and stuff. So they took a picture. They were very nice, but they knew that they didn't want to start that trend. So immediately after they take one picture, they separated. I was like, see, they know the game. So yeah, they were at Charlie's Philly cheesesteak. We went to Charlie's Philly cheesesteak. We ate. They went off and dispersed, and I believe you saw them. You ran.
So yeah, I messaged. I was like, let me know when you guys are going bowling. I didn't realize it was like the same area. I thought like it was a different area. I didn't realize it was all in the same, like in the mall. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, just message me when you guys are done eating and are going bowling. And you did. I was like, okay, I'll be right over. I was about 10 minutes or so away. So it's not like it was a super long drive or anything. And so I got there and then I'm walking through round one and I see both of them. And, they're just walking around. They're, I don't know, looking for something to play or whatever. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't say anything to them or whatever. But I messaged Haley and I was just like, we're at round one. If you guys want to come out, and hang out, I think we're doing karaoke tonight. That's kind of the plan. And then I was like, also just saw the Young Bucks. And she messages, she's like, I've been on Young Buck watch all day. And I'm like, I've been here for 5 minutes and just saw him. Guess I'm just blessed. And then she was really mad at me about that. We did bowling. Chris challenged Josh, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
Chris,
So that is how the bowling came together.
So to give you a description, Chris and Josh have a very combative relationship where they always talk trash about each other. Chris loves to fall asleep and he loves the Mets, so Josh trolls him about that all the time. And Chris comes at Josh for being an asshole, basically. That's how their relationship is. And apparently, Chris, it goes to bowling all the time. So Josh was like, well, I'll beat you at bowling. And Chris was like, well, I'll challenge you when we go out to Greensboro. So we were going to set them up with their own game. And then we were going to have everybody else kind of do their own separate game. But they were like, oh, no, it's 7 of you. So put it all together. So we had them up first. And then we had everybody else kind of afterwards. So it was really, the competition was between them. But then it became a competition with everybody.
Yes. And we all sucked like that first frame. Like
yes.
Every single one of us were terrible this first frame. Chris ended up winning. He broke 100. Like he did really well. You broke 100 as well. You finished second. I think I finished third, or maybe John finished third. Stat King finished third. So the memorable moments from bowling were SP3 got a strike. And then I followed immediately with a strike because I went after him. So the FMC crew, back-to-back strikes.
He was like, FMC!
Yeah.
It was so back-to-back.
All right. Here was the true most memorable moment of this whole damn thing. They stopped bowling. Like, they're like, hey, finish up your... If you're bowling on your second frame or your second throw, finish up. And and then we're going to stop. So they pause. They make this announcement like, we're going to pause everything. Bowling etiquette is you do not bowl if the person next to you, or maybe even 2 lanes down, is also bowling. You wait for them to finish their turn, so you throw your ball so you don't distract one another. That's like proper bowling etiquette for those that do not know. But they stop everybody from bowling. Like, here's what we're going to do. This is the round 1 challenge or whatever. It's like, everyone stop, and on your first frame, you get to bowl at the same time. So everybody goes all at once and bowls. And how many people are there? So there were like, it was a pretty packed place. We had people right next to us. There's probably like 8 lanes taken up, give or take.
Yep.
It's like, all right, everybody bowls at once. And if you get a strike, you get like the big grand prize.
The round 1 prize bag.
The round 1 prize pack is what they call this thing. They're like, the round 1 prize pack. Like they
No, they said prize bag. They did specify prize bag. So you think there's a prize in the bag.
They hyped it, but they made this thing like, they hyped the hell out of it. They're like, this is like, everyone stop. This is a round 1 spectacular. Like they were using all the buzzwords for this thing. And so like they stopped. Only me and you were like paying attention, because the people like Kelvin and everybody, they weren't really like paying attention to what was going on. So Stat King is up. It was his turn to bowl. So they do all of this and like, all right, everybody bowl in 3, 2, 1. And they bowl and Stat King gets a strike. And me and you are hype as hell. Like, let's go. And then everybody else is like, why are they so excited? It's just like a strike. Like, that's cool. But like, you guys are extra right now.
I was like, what a prize. We explained it to them. Like,
we were like, no, he gets a prize. Like, he gets the prize bag. We were so hyped from this. This lady walks over to Stat King, hands him a literal like shopping bag, and it's like a small. Like a small. There's an extra small and there's like a small. He gets a small, like little shopping bag. I wish I had something around.
It might have been like two phones put together like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
maybe
not
that
big
size,
at all. I'm literally looking for something.
In height, like that's the size of it in height.
It's not. It was not big at all. Just a literal bag. And we're like, oh, well, there's got to be like something in it or whatever. He opens this shit up, not a damn thing in there. He just got this like small bag with nothing in there. And we're like, wait a second. That's it? They hyped all this for that? You just get like a little bag. It looked like you could put like an action figure in there.
Yeah.
That's like it. So think of that. Think of like the size of like, and I wish I had the Sting action figure around, but like just a box action figure. That's about all this little bag could hold. And we're like, that's it? It was so disappointing. It was so deflating.
You can tell Stacky was just like, he was like, really? He literally
went up there.
He went up there and asked, like, that's it?
He goes up there. He goes to the bar area or whatever. He's like, is this all I won? Like, this is it? And they're like, oh, did it come with a keychain and a pen? And he's like, no, there was nothing in it. And he's like, oh, well, we're all out of keychain, or we're all out of pens. We're all out of pens, but here's the keychain. It's this tiny keychain. This shit was small as could be. It's this tiny little like keychain of a bowling pin. That's it. And they're like, here you go. Here's your keychain. Didn't get the pen. They didn't have any more pens apparently, but he got a little tiny keychain. And then Josh, he ended up giving the keychain to Josh because Josh won overall. Dude, this was so disappointing.
Chris won overall.
Yeah, so Chris. Sorry. Yeah. It was so disappointing. That's all he won after this big hype. We were so hyped for him. So hyped when he got this strike. We were like, because he was bowling okay. Like he wasn't bowling like he ended up finished third. Like he was bowling pretty well, but like he actually he threw it well, but every ball he threw looked pretty good. But
every ball he got pins right down the middle, and then it would be like 2 or 3 pins always up.
Yeah, so like when he actually got the strike on this one, that's why we were like extra hype, along with like he was gonna get a prize, because like every ball he threw was looked well. It was just never a strike. This one threw it well, looked well. It was actually a strike. So we were very excited for a number of reasons, and then so disappointing when it was just this little bag. And he goes up there. Did I get a pen, or is there anything else? Like, no, I thought you get to like fill it with something. You can't fill this shit with candy or something. Like, can we not get something out of this?
Ketchup packets? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like, can we do a gift card? Can we like buy something here? Just nope. Here's this bag. So disappointing. So disappointing. But Chris won, and Chris ended up getting the keychain. Stat King gave him the keychain for his victory. We met Adam Yuri. Because he was just like tweeting in a thread with Cass and somebody else, I think Amber, and they were talking about Cookout, because Cass had told them to go to Cookout and what to get. I was like, yeah, get everything. And he's like, oh, we're just at round 1 right now, just having drinks. And I'm like, come to lane 13. And so he just comes up to lane 13. He's like, hey. I'm like, hey. So we talked for a little bit, but it was good to meet him as well. And then we finished up at round 1, and then we're trying to make plans for the rest of the night. And we decided we went back to our other friend's place. I don't want to give out shoot names and say who lives in the area. I don't know.
The Blind Devil. We went to the Blind Devil's Kelvin place. Got to meet Jeremy. Got to meet his son, who's going to be a future wrestler.
Oh my god! Oh, this kid. So 2 stories off of this. The kid comes down, and like, you guys have been there. You guys are staying over there and stuff. I'm just chilling in the chair. He comes down. He sees everybody else. He sees me. He's like running towards me. He's like running, and then he just goes off in the opposite direction. And I'm like, is it because I'm white? Like, is this what we're doing here?
Jeremy finally got to use it. He finally got to use it when black people use it. Is it because of black? Is it because of white? Yes. Jeremy finally got it. It was appropriate, and it popped me so much.
He's like, oh shit, white person here. Okay, go the other way.
It's like the cops. The cops.
But then he realized he saw I was just hanging out and talking with everybody and stuff. So he's like, all right, this guy's okay. But this kid's a future wrestler. Got to work on his punches. This kid throws shoot punches.
Shoot.
He is hitting me in the chest and everything. Like, he is throwing shoot ass punches on everybody. SP3, I saw him hit you in the stomach one time. I was like, oh, that looked like it sucked. Like, that just looked like it sucked.
But I love him because he's already ready to be a worker. Like, he'll tell you. He tells you. He's like, I want to do this. Like, I want to do this. I want to do this move. Oh, do the move where you put me on your shoulders and I hurricane rod you. He's like he's only 4 years old. This kid is awesome.
He was throwing shoot punches though. It was fantastic. So we hung out there for a little while. I went and we were making plans for the night, and we were like, oh, corner bar. We were trying to find like a good karaoke spot. We found one, and it was like the room karaoke, and we're like, no, we don't want to do that shit. Like, that's no fun. We want open public out here to do karaoke. So we found corner bar, and we're like, let's see if they do karaoke. Fortunately, Saturday night, karaoke night at corner bar. We're like, all right, this is it. This is where we're going. I went and had dinner with Sean and Denise, and then we go over to corner bar afterwards. Sean came. He hung out for a little bit. I beat Sean in bubble hockey. That was my big claim to fame there, beating Sean in some bubble hockey. And then karaoke was supposed to start at like 10:30.
Yeah.
And this shit didn't start until like 11 at the very least. This thing didn't start until 11. This karaoke. I'm like, all right, well.
Because Sean was trying to wait. Trying to wait. And then he was just like, nah, I don't look like they even setting up that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not staying that long. Like, all right, fine. We met Caden. Caden came over to corner bar and to hang out. And then finally, like, karaoke started. And SP3, and I'm like, what are we going to do? Like, well, we got to do Creed in honor of our pal, Cher Delaware, who's not here. We got to do Creed. We got to do Higher. Like, okay, well, that's what we'll do. Haley and Kylie came, and Colby, they came. They were not ducking me. We got into a big fight, and then we all were all friends, made up afterwards. So yeah, we signed up for karaoke, and it was finally our turn. The people before us were like, okay. One dude was super professional. One dude was like really good. I forgot what he sang.
It looked like he had on a suit. He was prepared for the occasion.
Oh yeah, he had a whole routine.
Oh, I didn't even say how we got in. So I think I got there before.
Oh yes, okay. I have a story about this too.
You and Jeremy, we both got stories on how we get into the bar and before we meet up. So we get to the bar and we get up and Blind Devil Kelvin's first, and he's wearing sweatpants. He's the only one of us who has sweatpants. Everybody has jeans on. So immediately the guy at the front says, his name was Matthew. He was like, you can't get in. That's like no sweatpants against our dress code. It's like, oh man. He's like, I was looking at us. He's like, oh man. He was like, man, we all came out here. We got people from New York, people from Ohio. I'm like telling him, I'm like, yo, we all came out for the wrestling. He's like, oh, you came out for the wrestling? It was like, yeah, AEW Revolution, Sting's last match. And he's hanging out there, the guy in the front taking out there with this guy. I guess he was his friend. He's wearing a cowboy hat. He has on a MAGA supporter shirt on, a Trump supporter shirt on. and he has a white beard. And they're like, oh, Sting's last match. And he's like, yeah, we all out here for that. And he's like, all right, you're the only one. Then the first thing I say, like, you're the only one in the group that got the sweatpants. Like, yeah, no, they all got jeans on. It's like, all right, man, we'll let you in. We're Sting fans too. Yeah, man. Like, we start talking about wrestling out in front. Like, we show them our stuff. They let us in. So we were chilling there. And then I guess like the bartenders found out that we were there for the wrestling event. So the only male bartender who is behind the bar comes up to us and he's like, oh yeah, man. He was like, yeah, this is a hotbed for wrestling. He was like, and he tells my friend first, and then they tell me to tell him to tell me the story. He comes up to him and he's like, yeah, man. He was like, I hate to admit it. And he was like, I don't know if I should, but you guys are wrestling fans, but this is the bar that Jeff Hardy went 2 years ago before he fell off the wagon. And I'm like, wait, what? They told me he said that. I was like, no, I need the whole story. I was like, what? Where did that come from? He's like, yeah. He was like, he came here after a meet and greet. We had the meet and greet here, had like the post-show party for the meet and greet here. They were drinking here for like 2 a.m. Like they were supposed to close at a certain point. They still wanted to keep drinking. They went back to their hotel. They wanted me to bring like a bottle of Captain Morgan there. And then 2 days later, I find out he got a DUI. It was like, I feel bad. He was like, he was my hero. I don't mean to laugh, but it was the way he delivered it. Like him and me, we're both like, we feel bad for laughing, but it was the way he talked about it. Like, I was like, no. I was like, we're in a historical place. I was like, now we're in a historical place. And so we will all never forget we walked into this bar.
So yes, Sting brought people together to let Kelvin in, and then you told me that like that was like one of the first thing you said when we walked in. You're like, this is a historical place. I'm like, huh? You're like, this is where Jeff Hardy fell off the wagon, according to the bartender. It's like, oh fuck, like, oh man, that's not good.
I told Sean when he came out, telling everybody.
So we got in. This is an embarrassing story because I don't know how to feel about it. So same dude who checked the ID, same dude who is a wrestling fan who let Kelvin in because everybody loves Sting. He checks IDs and he checks Sean's ID first, and he's like, Sean Ross. I know Sean Ross Sapp. And Sean's like, oh, do you? Is that good or bad? And he's like, you're the dirt sheet guy. And he's like, no, I'm just kidding. He's like, you do good work and everything. And Sean's like, oh, thanks. I appreciate it. He's like, this guy's in the dirt sheets too. And he looks over at me and he's like, Brian Alvarez? Like,
yo, that popped all of us when you retold that story. Literally, Josh was telling the story to other people the rest of the week. Yeah.
I was like, shit. What did I do? I was like, how am I?
I was like, no, he meant your Sean Brian Alvarez. Like I tried. I'm like, I'm making better. I know how to make this, but your Sean Brian Alvarez.
Yeah, you tried to make me feel a little bit better. Like you're Sean's Brian Alvarez. Like, all right, that's a little bit better. Like I appreciate you looking out for me on that. But I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I don't know if I want to be here anymore. Then he looks at me. He's like, oh, I'm just kidding. I was like, all right, I'm sure you are. Like, you probably really thought I was Brian Alvarez there on this one. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, he is. Matthew.
Because I did have to leave. I did have to leave at one point. I walked outside just to get like fresh air and stuff. Because this is after like a couple karaoke performances and everything. And we had a couple drinks, and so I was like, I got to get fresh air. So I walked outside, and like he saw me leave, and then when he saw me come back in, he's like, oh no, I know you're good. He's like, so I didn't have to re-show my ID or anything. And we talked a little bit about wrestling as I was coming back in and whatnot. Very nice dude, but I don't like him for the Brian Alvarez crack.
That was awesome.
So all that happened, and Sean had left. We got to do the karaoke. The delay in starting. So I got to preface this to explain why what happened to us happened as well. So there was a big delay in starting. So it started at like 10:30. And then it didn't start until like 11. Big delay in starting. And the person running was like, oh yeah, my computer's like messed up. I got to restart and all this stuff. So this is why like there was a big delay in starting. Finally, they call up SP3 9. And we picked, of course, Higher by Creed in honor of our pal, Cher Delaware. So song starts, get through the first verse. At like the end of the first verse, it like the machine just goes down. Like the
we already had the crowd. We already had the crowd singing with us.
Like we were going. We were ready for the big chorus to hit, and it just stops. And like we're both we didn't stop. SP3 and I were like, nah, we can't do it
go
like that.
acapella.
Yeah, so we just kept going. We finished out the verse, and we know the chorus. Like, we know the chorus. So we're just like, all right, we're just gonna fucking do this. So we go a cappella on the chorus, and then had the whole crowd going with that. And then like we do the chorus and everything, and like, we don't know the second verse quite as well. So like do this without the lyrics. So like we just didn't do the second verse. So we just like stopped after we do the chorus. Like, we gave y'all the chorus. Everyone was with us for the chorus, but like we don't know the second verse that well. So we're just gonna stop on that. And then we just had to stop. And then because the machine had stopped, the machine had died, we had to wait a little while. And then I'm like, we kind of already did higher. And then so SP3 is like, let's switch it up. Let's do My Sacrifice when we come back. So we switched it up. And we did My Sacrifice, but there was a good delay. There was like a 10-15 minute delay. It felt like.
Yeah, I literally had to talk. I was talking to the person running the karaoke. Then she had another guy over there who was like, man, we got to get this going. They had them going. Like, he even was telling her they had the crowd going. Like, we got to get this back up. And I was like, yeah. I was like, we got to switch it up though. And I was like, we already gave them the acapella version. I was like, it ain't gonna get better than that. So I was like, let's do My Sacrifice. You have My Sacrifice. She's like, yeah. She was like, I don't have anything post 2015. I was like, that's perfect for me because I ain't listened to anything post 2015.
Oh, I told you when we were in the bar, like before the karaoke stuff, they were playing all these songs. I told SP3, I was like, I don't know any of these fucking songs. Like, I have not heard any of this. They did play, however, This Fire Burns and then Cult of Personality. Back.
I was like, they're trolling us.
This is a rib. This is a rib on us right here. I was like, oh, what? So This Fire Burns comes on. Like, oh, it's CM Punk. And I got this old school CM Punk. And right after it ends, Cult of Personality hits. Like, okay. They know
that was a troll. Yeah, that was a troll right there.
Yeah, it's like somebody in the bar is fucking with us right now. Like, we know we got a bunch of wrestling fans here. Like, we're gonna do this back to back. So yeah, we do My Sacrifice afterwards. Killed it. Absolutely killed it. There's video. I know I've retweeted stuff. I think SP3's retweeted stuff. Haley and Kylie took the video on that. So there's video of us doing My Sacrifice. Absolutely killed it. Then we go through a lot of people picked like good songs. So the songs that like everybody really got it. Kelvin did Twist and Shout, which easy banger right there.
Me and Kelvin were literally backup singers for like multiple people though.
Yeah.
all three of us would be up front, like singing, helping people with their lyrics.
Yes. Somebody did Friends in Low Places. Yes. And so Haley and Kylie were trying to decide on like what they were gonna sing. And Colby's very country. And she's like, oh, we'll do like country songs. And I was like, I'm with you. Like, you want to do some Garth Brooks? Like, I'll do some Garth Brooks. We'll do Friends in Low Places. Like, that's easy right there. So, but somebody else did Friends in Low Places. So like Kylie's like here, Haley's in the middle, and she's just surrounded by me, Colby, and Kylie. Us three know Friends in Low Places. Easy. No problem. And when it comes on, we're singing it. And Haley is just like, I think she even tweeted, she's like, I'm surrounded by people singing country. This is my personal hell. Because we were into Friends in Low Places. Like, Friends in Low Places, we're going off on it. That's an easy one right there. And Haley just looked she's like, what are these people around me doing, singing Friends in Low Places? That one, of course, was a banger. Somebody did All-Star by Smash Mouth. They're like, all right, we're into this one here. Panic at the Disco.
That was great.
These Sins, Not Tragedies.
That
one was a banger.
Usher, that was great.
Oh, yes.
Me and Kelvin did the A-Town stuff.
Yeah, y'all did. That was hilarious. Y'all went up there after the song ended and did the hidden part.
The outro. Yes.
That was fantastic. And those were the bangers that like everybody else did. And then so we were waiting our turn for a while here. We'd signed up for another song. We did Rollin' by Limp Bizkit.
Because some lady at the bar said she wanted to hear some Limp Bizkit. Yeah. So we was like, oh, is it going to be Rollin' or My Way? And you wanted to do Rollin'. She said Rollin'. So I was like, all right, we're going to do Rollin'.
We had to do a banger. Rollin' you can get into. We had to do a banger on
I feel you. So I told the bar, I told them that. And we on a whole new page of the karaoke sign up. So I was like, oh boy, all right, let me put my name down here.
So
and then we start to wait And then we realized there was a pattern.
Yes, so we were waiting, but you signed up a little bit later. Like after we had gone our first time, Haley and Kylie were trying to debate on what they were doing. They signed up like shortly after us. So it had been a while for them. Like they were really, really waiting. And then this motherfucker named Devlin. This dude had been called up 3 times after us by this point. 3 times. I don't really remember the first song he did. It wasn't good though.
He didn't know the words.
No, he like didn't know the words or anything. It was bad. It was really bad. And then he comes up and he does Ice Ice Baby.
And this was literally, I think, right after he just did a song. Like he put his name back to back.
Yeah.
And they let it happen. I was dumbfounded by it. I've never been to an open karaoke bar like that let someone go twice in a row. They literally always special. Oh, you just went. Oh, we gotta make someone else. We'll call you up later, or at least we'll let one person go before the next person. Like they went back to back. Oh my god, that Ice Ice Baby.
he does Ice Ice Baby, and like I'm into it immediately. I hear the opening riff. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And then everybody knows. All right, stop, collaborate, and listen. This dude is so off.
Yes.
So off. It's like he never heard this song before. And like the rhythm was bad. It was because what's funny is when the Creed portion, when we got cut off the first time, SP3 and I were just like standing up there and we just started doing 8 Mile battle raps. We were just quoting Beat Rabbit and stuff.
Fuck a beat. I
feel bad. I gotta murder that dude from Leave It to Beaver. Like we were just starting doing the 8 Mile battle raps on it.
Fuck a acapella, fuck a Papa Doc, fuck a Glock, fuck y'all if you doubt me. I was in there like, oh, it was fun when the music went off. We just had a good time with 8 Mile verses. But this dude, man, he did not know a lick of Ice Ice Baby.
No, he didn't know any. And SP3 just messages me is like, this dude's killing the territory, and I'm like, yep. And then you took that video of yourself while he was doing it. And that's when I quote tweeted, like, this dude's killing the territory. And I tweeted, I was like, SP3 and I are going to have to come up there and just do like a rap song to show that some people in here got some actual rhythm and know some lyrics on some rap songs here. I was like, we'll just do Forgot About Dre. You know, that's an easy one. Everyone largely knows Forgot About Dre. Well, any type of rap song that we can do. We'll do some Jay-Z if we got to. But like, we got to do a rap song just to get the territory back because this man is destroying in a bad way. I said, baby. So he gets done with that. And then like one other person goes, and then they call Devlin again.
I was like, that's heel. He's like, heel. Oh my God. I was like, I've never seen this. I've never seen someone become it. Like he literally, after we performed the Creed, he came up to me and he was like, yo, great job. He's like giving me pounds and stuff. I was like, oh, he cool. He looked drunk, but he cool people. He like cool. There's good vibes here. And then he went up there the third time. I was like, oh my God, he turned heel. I was like, I've never seen this at a karaoke bar before.
They called Devlin again. I don't remember what song he did for the third one. It was better than the rap song. It wasn't a rap song, something slower. He actually seemed like he'd heard this song before, but they called him again. And we were like, what the fuck? What are we doing? Like Haley and Kylie hadn't gone at this point. It had legit been like an hour and a half that they'd signed up. And like, they had not gone at this point. And we're like, I don't know when we're going to go. They called Devlin 3 damn times right now.
So after a certain point, Stat King was fed up. Stat King, he's a lawyer.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. He was like, I'm either gonna go up there and I'm gonna argue on something less, or I will pay at this point.
Yeah,
because Devlin has totally he's everyone was off the Richter. Everyone was done with Devlin at this point.
Yeah, so I'm hanging out with Haley and Kylie, and I see Stat King go over there, and I just see him pull out money. And he's just like handing it to and I'm like, all right, I gotta switch my internet. Okay.
No worries.
All right. So I just see him handing money, And I was like, oh, he's going to just pay to get us moving up the list. And that's what I motioned. I was like, get them up the list. Like, they've been waiting longer than we have. I was like, please, like, get them up the list as well. So he's like, all right, how much is it going to cost me? So he got us, Austin, and Haley and Kylie up the list.
Because he's like, how much is it gonna cost? He was like $10 to move up the list. He was like, I have no tens. Here's 40. And I'm like, okay. It's not just us. It's Austin.
Yeah, it's not just us at this point. Yes, at this point, like, you gotta move other people.
Like, you gotta move all of us up. We need to go back to back to back at this point, so we can get the hell up out of here. We are done at this point. We're not even the full like True Hill Heat crew, because Chris, we went to barbecue. We went to City Barbecue before we went to inside the corner bar. And, I ate regular stuff. I ate like smoked fried chicken wings and French fries. Some people had briskets. This dude, Chris, went and got 2 glizzies. And like, we're making fun of him as he's eating the glizzy. And like, literally, like an hour into karaoke, I'm like, yo, where's Chris at? And they're like, oh, he's back at the car. He's not feeling well. I was like, it's those damn glizzies. And they go outside. This dude has his hoodie on, has his sunglasses on, and he's asleep. So they take pictures of him. It's like, this is going to be his mixtape cover. Weekend at Bernie's, the mixtape.
I didn't know Chris had like left and it was gone and wasn't feeling well at that point. I just figured he was around somewhere.
Because that's why Stat King was like, yo, we gotta go. We gotta get him back. Like, he's not feeling well. He wants to go home, so we gotta get out of here. So that's why he was like, yo, here, just here, and take the money.
So they got us moved up the list. Austin did a Bruno Mars song, When I Was Your Man, and he dedicated it to.
Oh my God, no!
It was hilarious, dude.
Another one, because Austin sings that song, and Austin is straight. Austin is literally one of the few in our crew that is single. So like, there was a bunch of single women around. I was telling them, I was like, yo, go on the other side. I was like, go on the other side, man. I was like, yo, being the wingman. I was like, man, you got a rep for all of us. You got 5 wingmen with you, basically. So he goes up and sings the Bruno Mars song. Why did the gay dude that we were hanging out with, I think his name was James, because he came up to us when we were singing karaoke songs, and he was chopping it up with us a few times. He like comes up to Austin as he's singing the song. He's like leaning on his back, singing in his Austin came up to us and he was like, did y'all hear my performance? So the guy's singing to me.
I didn't notice that. I was trying to close out my tab at this point. The bar was very busy, so it took me a while to close out. I did not notice that somebody was behind him, because all I heard, I knew the song that he was doing, and then I heard him go, "I dedicate this to my ex. Fuck that bitch."
Yo, he's getting up. I turn around because I'm with you, because I'm closing out too. He's getting up on the chair. And
Austin was killing it. So Austin does his song. SP3 and I do Rolling. We were rocking on Rolling. We were doing the dance and everything. We had everybody going. You had to. And then Haley, Kylie, and Colby did Dragula. I don't know this damn song, but it was a headbanger song.
Yeah.
The wife will be very proud of me right now. I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna start moshing at the chorus. So I just jumped in, and I think my internet.
There it is. Yeah, the internet did the freeze now. But yeah, that was they had a great performance. I did a little video of them as well back, because I was like 5-star performance in the Tokyo Dome. The corner bar at Tokyo Dome here. So yeah, they had a 5-star performance. And I think I went to like the bathroom, and then y'all guys were gone. Like, everybody went, we performed, and we out.
So we did the song. You were recording. I'm trying to because the first time I jumped into like mosh, like I could tell like my hat was coming off and everything. So I'm trying to put like my hat on your head. But like, it was not gonna stay. It wasn't staying. So like, all right, fuck it. I'll just keep my hat on. So then I jumped into mosh again, and my hat just like flew off. And I think the dude who you guys were hanging with, like, he grabbed it, fortunately.
Yeah.
Like, all right, thank God. Like, I saw where it went as I was moshing. I was like, I can't lose it. That was my 2022 Stanley Cup champion hat. Can't lose that hat. Fortunately, the dude grabbed it, and like after I was done moshing with everybody, he gave it back to me. I was like, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, after they got done performing, I'm like, I think we're leaving. And they're like, yeah, we're leaving as well. So we start walking. I saw Josh. I think it was Josh and Austin. I saw, and they're like, "Oh, see you tomorrow." I was like, "Yeah, see you tomorrow." I was looking for you. I was like, "Where did SP3 go?"
Yeah,
And
I just went to the bathroom. I walk out. I walked to the front where everybody was at. I was like, "Oh, nobody's here." All I see is that there was like two girls that told Austin, they were like, "Oh, we're about to perform Genie in a Bottle. You're not gonna stay."
that was the next song up. That was the next
song up. So I guess Kelvin and Austin stayed for a bit of the song, and I guess it messed up a little bit. But then when I walked up to it, they're still like at the a second verse of Genie in a Bottle, and all I see at the door with that they didn't let us go into, like the door that's like cut off, but right by where they were doing the karaoke, Austin's doing the to the girls. So I was like, "Oh, okay, we're leaving. Let me go outside."
Yeah, Genie in the Bottle came on, and at that point I was like, "Oh shit, I kind of want to stay and do Genie in a Bottle." But we were already leaving there. We'd all left, and then everyone got back safely that night, which was good. And then Sunday, I came over and hung out with you guys for a little bit, and then Cass showed up. Cass, fresh out of the hospital, straight out of the hospital, straight to come over to hang out at Kelvin's place. And we hung out for a little bit. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do with the show and food. We went, we got food. And then thank God you rode with me to the arena for Revolution. And thank God, because like I get very like anxiety with like parking and stuff, and just
and it was crazy outside.
Yeah,
Greensboro.
Yeah, like downtown. There's always like any type of, this isn't even really like downtown area, but like it's a big Coliseum complex. I get very much anxiety on this. Like, am I going the right place? Am I in the wrong lane and stuff?
And especially because, I mean, we kind of already gave it away because we said we were hanging out with Cass. Cass gave us some gummies, and I know I couldn't do what Jeremy did.
I didn't take mine. I did not take mine.
Yeah. You didn't take yours, but like I was like, I was fanning for you, but I was like, let me stay calm. So he's calm.
Yeah, I didn't.
I can understand if you have anxiety or if you're high, that would be.
I was like, this is gonna make it worse for me if I do this. So I'm not going to do this. I was like, maybe I'll take them during the show, and then the show will go by, and it'll be fine. But like, I'm not doing this while I'm parking and everything. So and we finally get parked. Everything was fine, but I'm glad SP3 was there, because like if he was not with me, I would have just been so stressed out and just been like, oh fuck, I'm in the wrong spot. Like SP3 like being calm, I assume because he had taken his gummy and it kicked in. I was like, that's probably why he's calm as shit. So, but like him being calm like made things easier for me. I always tell the wife that like anytime we do parking and stuff, she's very calm in those situations. Just like, it's fine, it's okay. And I was like, you being calm helps me, so I appreciate that. We get parked, we're fine. We walk over to the arena. Line at this point is not too terrible.
Because we went to the right entrance, because when we were driving by, we saw there was long lines like at certain entrances.
It was moving though. Like they kept it moving pretty quickly. Like truthfully, it's like 6:45 at this point, so the show's going to be starting. And technically it has started. So because I think the pre-show started at 6:30, but the wrestling portion usually starts at 7. So the show started, so people are moving in. And so Jensen had told me like, hey, if you see this signed Sting figure, will you get it for me? He'd already PayPal'd me the money. I was like, what's your budget on this thing? He's like, if it's like $300 or less. I was like, can you get it? I was like, yeah, sure. And then he told me, he's like, oh, it's 200. Will you get it? I was like, yeah, no problem. Of course, that means standing in the merch line. The merch lines at AEW, one, there's not enough merch stands anyway.
Nope.
And like two, there's just not enough merchandise.
There's not enough merch. So I went up after like maybe 1 or 2 matches on the main card, and it was gone everywhere. I went to like 3 different merch stands. All the event t-shirts, all the Sting t-shirts was gone. I got like one of the last few Sting shirts they got in stock, just so I could say, oh, I got this at Sting's last event. But yo, I was like, again,
what shirt did you end up getting?
It was the one. I think it's kind of looks like an old school one. It's like black.
Oh, the pink one. Oh, well, you got the black one.
No. It's like the black one, but it's not like a design or anything. It's like different bats and scorpions, and it has Sting's name on it. But it's kind of in like the same black text as the colors, so it's kind of a unique shirt. So I liked it. I was like, let me get that one. But yeah, it was ridiculous, and literally. It would have been worse for Jeremy because I had to tell Jeremy, go to your seat because I had to wait for my ticket at the thing. So I'm waiting there for at least nearly like 20, 25 minutes. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying anything. I literally, as soon as we went through security, Jeremy goes up. He goes and they scan his ticket. I just asked the lady, I was like, hey, I gotta wait for my ticket. My friend, he's gonna come bring it to me. Can I wait like right there? And like, yo, in that 20, 25 minutes, I saw so much things, security going in. Then like after like 15, 20 minutes, I hear the security ladies that are scanning the tickets like, this guy been over here standing here for 20 minutes. They are the loudest whisperers I have ever heard in my life. Literally, and I think that the lady that I originally asked heard that, like she's standing right in front of me, making sure, like asking people, oh, you're 2 together, 3 together, oh, you go here, blah, 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 blah. So she's like, asking me, she was like, oh, is your friend still coming? Like, what's going on? And I was like, yeah, he's still coming. I literally showed her the text. I was like, he's coming out. He's actually working. So like, she's like, oh, okay. And like the two ladies, they had already scanned. Everybody was like empty at this point. Like, and then the next rush was coming in. There was a break. And I was like, yeah, my friend just came out. I even showed them the text. I was like, yeah, my friend's coming out. I heard y'all talking shit. So when he finally comes, give me the ticket. I was like, thank you so much. Thank you for being patient, even though I heard y'all talking shit. I said it again, just in case you didn't hear me the first time.
I was willing to wait because like I want to make sure you got in and everything. It had been like 15 minutes at this point. And so I was waiting like in a different area. Like I could see you the whole time, but I was like, well, I think my internet cut.
Yeah, you're frozen, but you should come back. It's been like that. But yeah, I was like, nah. I was like, yeah, he's not answering back right now. I was like, yeah, you should probably go to your seat right now.
Yeah, so like I was waiting in like a different area, but I could see you. I was like, well, at the very least, this is stupid. I'm gonna wait over here and stand by myself. Like I'm at least gonna go over here so I can talk to him. So yeah, I walked around, and that's when you're like, you can just go if you want. Like I know it's like 7:15 at this point.
Yeah.
Like so you can just go. I was like, all right, like you sure? You're like, yeah. I was like, all right, appreciate it. So like I go again. It's like 7:15. I was like, fuck. Now I gotta stay in this merch line because I want to make sure. One, I did want a shirt. Like I wanted a shirt for myself. But I was like, I got to see if like I think that's figure. So I stand in line. I'm in line until like 7:45 is when I finally get up there, and I get the figure. They still had it, and then I got a shirt for myself, and then I go to my seats, and so I paid for a ticket. I put that out there. It's like I paid for a ticket and everything. I'm sitting in like 115. Like it's fine. They're good seats. Like they aren't bad or anything. But like I'm alone. I'm not sitting next to any of my friends or anything like that. And so like they do Garcia and Christian, but we're not going to talk about like the actual event, by the way, everybody. If you want our reviews of that, SP3 did a review show.
There's plenty of reviews by this point. We're giving you our live perspective of what went down. But like I think I got to my seat. No, I was walking to my seat when Pac's video returned.
See, I missed all that. I missed the entire pre-show. Like I finally got to like my seat at like 7:55. So I saw the Sting video package, which I already seen earlier in the day anyway. But yeah, I got to my seat at like 7:55. Okay, so before I tell the seat changing here, I get this Sting figure for Jensen. It's a signed Sting figure. It's over there somewhere. It's a signed Sting figure. I'm like, can I get a bag for this? One, because it's just easier to carry. Two, I don't need people seeing me. I got this signed $200 figure on me and being like yoink and running off with it. Like, can I get like a bag to like hide this thing? They're like, we don't have any bags. Like, are you kidding me? So like, I'm holding this thing. I'm protecting this thing with life. SP3 can tell you, like, I was not leaving this thing. I had it wrapped up in my jacket as well. So like that way, maybe people didn't see it. It did not leave my lap the entire time until Sting's actual match. And then I put it under my chair. I was like, I think it'll be okay for the match. But like the entire time it was in my lap. It's like, I am not leaving this fucking figure because I can't risk someone just like taking this thing. One, it's not for me. Two,
Exactly.
like it's a $200 figure. Like somebody's out $200 if this thing gets stolen.
And I got a whole story that there was some crazy people at this event. So yeah, you were
so
smart.
like I'm like, you can't get a bag or nothing. Shit. So I'm protecting this figure. I'm showing like I had the signature always pointed towards me. So that way maybe people just think like, oh, he just got like the $25 thing figure or whatever. I was not trying to give away that this was the limited edition signed figure. I was very mad that there was no bag. So I get to my seat. I watch Garcia and Christian by myself, and I just messaged SP3. It's like, where are you guys sitting? And you told me where you were sitting. And you're like, oh, I'm sitting right with Cass. And I was like, oh, okay. And you're like, there's an empty chair next to us. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, can I come sit with y'all? Because like I watched the first match. I think it was good and everything, but like you want to be with your friends at these shows.
Yeah.
Right? Like sitting alone is like, I wanted to be there for Sting's last match, but I was like, man, this kind of sucks if I'm just gonna sit alone the entire time. I was like, all right, I'm gonna come over there. So I go to where you guys are going. The Danielson match was starting at this point. I was like, oh fuck, I can't miss this. So like I walk into like one of just the sections so I get pictures of like Danielson's entrance and everything, and I walk back out. And then I'm like, there's two 109s. I'm like, which side are you on? I'm messaging you. I'm messaging Cass. I was like, where are you guys? And I'm on the opposite side.
I'm like already invested in the match. I'm like,
yeah.
I was not answering. I felt bad because Cass was like, yeah, Jeremy's looking for it. I was like, yeah, just walk down. Just walk down.
You're like, just walk down. And like Kingston's making his entrance and everything. And like, I'm on the other side. I'm on the other 109. It's like, Cass, just turn around and start waving. So like he's at Cass turn around and waving. He's on the opposite side. Okay, yeah. I see you. So fortunately, like I get there like right when the match starts. So I didn't miss any of the match. I've been very mad at myself if I missed Danielson Kingston. I walked down. There was an empty seat next to you, right in front of Cass. But fortunately, I get to hang out with you, Cass, and Chris the entire night. And it was a much better.
Because when I get to my seat, I was gonna sit, alone. I think it's like upper in 109. That was my ticket. So I sit there, and more people were coming into my section. But then I see Cass because everybody was texting me while I was waiting. Well, during that wait, you had texted me to ask me if I was still waiting. Cass had asked me where I was sitting. All my friends was asking me where my seats were at. So as I'm walking down, I realized that 110 is on my right, and literally my friends are in 110, and they're like, "Oh hey!" They're like, "Hey, we're right here." I was like, "Oh word!" I was like, "I'm right over here." So I would sit there, and then I see Cass, and Cass is like, "Oh yeah, I'm down here." I was like, "Is there any seats down there?" He was like, "Yeah, I got a whole row," and I was like, "All right, I'm coming down." So I sit down in front of him, and I was like, "Oh, they got two seats down here next to us," and Chris didn't get his tickets with the rest of the True Hill Heat crew. He got his late. So he's sitting in, I think, like 111. So I was like, yo, come over here. Come sit next to Cass. So he was sitting alone. Then I was hitting up you. I was like, you're sitting alone. I was like, come over. So we all like were able to sit with each other. So that was great. I like that.
It was a much better event than being able to sit with friends. Riccicino was right in front of us.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah. I literally was sitting there with Cass for like a match and a half and didn't realize Rick was right there. I was like, oh, it's Rick. And then everybody else from media, I think, was on like the other 109 side. So that was cool. And then this was my first time actually at a wrestling event with Jeremy. So he got to see how I act. I was like, I don't act like a regular media person.
No, well, like in fairness, so when I've done these shows as media, I try not to cheer and shit.
Yeah.
Like, media, I try to be respectful and everything. Like it's fine. And for the most part, that's how media is. I don't know how other people around like
I've seen that. Yeah. I literally see that from Cass at Grand Slam because I was like, man, Cass, this ain't you, man. Why you acting like we sitting there being out like, nah, man, you can't do that with me. We in New York, yo.
So, like, I try not to cheer. I see other people are trying not to cheer. Other people are. And I was like, for us, like, we bought tickets. Like, if I want to cheer, we're in the section with our media friends. But, like, if other media members, I don't think anybody said anything. I don't know. I've been offline. But I don't know if somebody tweeted, like, there were disrespectful media members cheering in the media section. Like, yeah, that was me and SP3. We bought tickets. Like, sorry. You want to be mad about that? Like, I haven't seen that, but if somebody does, that it was us cheering. SP3 certainly getting hyped during all of this, especially Ospreay and Takeshita. You were super hyped for that. Look, Sting's last match, I don't care if I was media for that thing. I was going to cheer regardless. It's Sting's last damn match. Okay. Like, you got to get into it. Show was great. Show was fantastic. And check out review shows on that. And then we were leaving and we're walking up, and me and Chris we got all the way up there.
Yeah.
And then we were waiting on you because we thought you were right behind us. And
so I'm walking up and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go meet up with my friends, make sure we're all together. So I'm walking up to 110. All I see is like Kelvin, and he's facing Austin, but also facing the row above him. And I'm seeing like Austin's looking like he's holding him back. I'm like, what's going on? All of a sudden, Kelvin goes, jumps over his row, goes to the top row, and they got this crazy guy in like a Hawaiian shirt, and he's like yelling and screaming. And this gentleman at the end of the row, I was like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, he's been on it all night. This guy here, he's alone. I don't even know who he's with. He's been starting with him. That's your friend? He's been starting with him the whole night. I was like, why would he do that? I was like, have you seen Kelvin? I was like, Kelvin, the only one in here with a spike leather jacket, with a freaking mohawk, and he's Dominican, with a fake eye. I was like, why would that be the person you want to start a fight with? He's going crazy. He's like, get in my face, punch me in the face. And Kelvin just simply goes into his face and he's like, you will not punch me, but punch me. He wanted it. He was like, I'm not gonna swing on you. He was like, I know that's what you want. So he tells him to swing on him. He's like whispering in his ear. He was like, I should have kissed him on the head. He's like going crazy. He literally pulls off his Hawaiian shirt, pulls it off of his head like that, not even like taking off the arms. Then he puts the Hawaiian shirt back on backwards. Kelvin said, you just put your shirt on backwards. And Austin, at that point, Austin and John like got up to that row and was just like pushed him away. Like it was like, yo, let's get the hell out. I was like, what the hell just happened? I was like, I really wanted him to punch him out. And everybody that was at the end that was not a part of like the people I was with were telling me they wanted that to happen too, because that guy was a nuisance apparently, that he was just yelling and screaming throughout the matchup. He was saying like racist stuff and just disrespectful stuff to the wrestlers, and like he was yelling and screaming during Sting's final speech. And that's when my crew finally were like, yo, can you chill? Like they were laughing with him the whole night, they said, until he started talking during Sting's final speech, and he got mad that they said something.
I didn't see any of that. I just noticed, I saw, and we were walking, me and Chris got to the top, and we're like, where's Sid at? Where's SP3 at? I thought he was right behind us. And yeah, I think he went to go check. I was like, I gotta meet some friends. Because a couple people were waiting to hang out afterwards. And so I left. I went to meet up with a couple of Fightful people. And then we got out, and so the messaging, this is why I asked for your number, because we should have done this earlier in the weekend. But like, we were DMing the whole time. We were just like DMing on Twitter. And so I didn't see your message until I'm like waiting. I didn't see anything. I was like, well, I'm just going to go to my car. Like SP3 stuff is here. So at the very least, like we'll meet somewhere. I'll bring it to him, or he can just come to the car and we'll figure it out. Like we're at the car. And then finally I see your message. Oh, I'm outside. I was like, well, shit, I'm already at the car. So I'm like, well, we're just hanging out. Like I'm not going anywhere. So we'll figure it out. And you guys came to the car, got all the stuff. And then, said goodbyes. I thanked Kelvin for his hospitality, and it was good meeting everybody. It was obviously good hanging out with you all weekend. It was good hanging out with the entire crew all weekend. I did appreciate you guys that you basically let me tag along the entire time.
No, you honorary True Hill Heat now. Like you family now. You a part of the fam. You're part of the True Hill Heat extended family because you hang out with us the whole weekend. It was like, yo, Jeremy's cool. Austin was like, I might have to hit him up, man.
Austin's from Ohio as well. Because I was wearing my Reds hoodie the first night, Friday night. He's like, "You from Ohio?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I saw the Reds hoodie. I knew it." I was like, "Well, I'm wearing a Colorado hat. My basketball team's Oklahoma City. My football team is Carolina. So like, I'm all over the place." The Reds hoodie wouldn't really give away that I'm from Ohio, but it happened to be, yes, I am from Ohio. So he was from Ohio as well. So yeah, we hit it off. Everyone was cool. And again, I appreciate that you guys let me tag along and hang out and accepted me, because I always get super worried when I go to these events, especially like alone. I'm like, I don't know if anybody like wants to hang out with me. Like, I know a bunch of my friends and stuff are going. Hopefully we can make plans and I'm not just sitting at my hotel alone and everything. But like, I don't like to be intrusive on that stuff. I was like, oh, if you guys got something you're doing, like, don't let me stop you.
That's why I was always like, we was at the apartment. It was like, come through. I was like, can I get Jeremy to come through? He was like, oh, that's Jeremy from last night. Yeah.
Like you guys were hanging out. I was like, are you guys like getting food? You just want to meet up there? Because like, I didn't want to be intrusive. Like, come over to the apartment and hang out there. I was like, oh, if you guys are about to get food, like, I don't have to do all that. Like, I could just meet you there if you're gonna get food in like an hour or so. You're like, no, come on. Like, we don't know when we're gonna get food, so just come hang out until then. I was like, all right, cool. So I appreciate you and Kelvin for accepting me and hosting and being hospitable the entire weekend. But it was really fun. It was a great weekend, and I'll actually give wrestling review on In the Weeds tomorrow. I know you've already done a wrestling. I know you've done a Revolution show, so everyone can go to.
Man, watch that. That might be one of our funniest ever. We had Jimmy Macaram and Nate Milton from the NWA podcast of Post Wrestling, two of the funniest people. If you talk about wrestling with them, oh my God. Jimmy's best line that I'm still thinking about to this day, when he was talking about the 8-man scramble, he was talking about Dante Martin messing up a spy. He was like, and I usually like Dante. Well, at least half of them. I was like, yo, it took everybody a minute to be like, John was like, well, yeah, I like Darius too. Oh, he's not talking about that.
Yeah.
So yes, must watch.
On the scramble. So there's the Christian match, there's the Danielson match, and then after the Danielson match, you and Cass are like, food run. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And then you're like, the scramble's up next. We're going to get food. I was like, oh, okay. We'll go get food right now. We have two guests. Sean can just put himself on. Cher Delaware. Also,
what?
I think that's kayfabe, brother. Is it?
It is kayfabe. That's why she wasn't there. It's a litter on the way. Didn't know that was kayfabed. Anyway,
Sean, how are you? Cher,
less good now.
You have SP3 laughing so hard he's turning red.
Oh my God. I like the color of Sean's hoodie. Oh my God. I'm crying.
Is this a bad time to say that I have other exclusive news coming behind the paywall?
Shit, I'm sweating. Oh my God.
Fortunately, nobody watches this show, but
yes, I want to hear your exclusive news. Post it on the paywall.
Well, I think I just broke it. No, I'm doing a show in like 15 minutes. Oh, I got calls and messages. Hold on. Oh, well, now I'm gonna have to do that show later now.
Just kidding. He lied.
I'm full of lies on this show. That's me.
Lying.
Nothing but lies on this show.
Nothing but lies. Oh man, except for me and Jeremy's stories that we just gave.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm sweating bullets. Like I had to open a window.
I've never seen SP3 laugh so hard it turned red before.
That's what made me realize I fucked up.
I just want to say, as soon as you said Hawaiian shirt guy in your story, I was in the chat saying Jeremy with the bad spelling because I assumed that's who it had to be, the guy from Love Is Blind.
No, he was like a little Filipino guy who was just drunk and just, oh my god, I don't know why he would mess with Kelvin. That's why I was like, Kelvin looks crazy.
There is a guy at every show that drinks way too much early on in the show, and then they say obnoxious, racist, homophobic stuff the entire time. Well, the show, the Jay Briscoe tribute show in Lexington, the guy who sat behind us, Sean, and I screamed back at him because he
Oh my god.
shut
And
up.
then so what was hilarious about that, the only thing that was hilarious about that, he buried everybody.
Yes.
I mean everybody. Then Hook gets in the ring and he's very much like, meet me in the bathroom, Hook. I want to do stuff to you. Like,
he loved Hook.
and it was like one of those things where you're like, is he troll? Like, is he like trying to bury Hook, like trying to be homophobic? No, dude wanted to fuck Hook.
He hated everybody else on the show but Hook.
It was so weird. And then he came up to me on, I think it was on Twitter or something. He came up, he's like, I was the guy yelling. I was like, oh, block.
He's so proud of himself too.
And now he probably posts every day the screenshot of where you blocked him.
Yeah,
He's
Sean blocked me for
Sean
no
Rossap
reason.
blocked me.
Yes.
Yeah.
He messages Cher, he messages Kate, he messages. It's funny because it's always women associated with Fightful. They think that they're like my mom or something. I don't know. Because they'll go tattle to them.
And nobody messages me this stuff.
No.
Like, why did Sean block me?
Sometimes Jimmy.
Or they tag the wrong Jimmy. That was my favorite.
Yes.
Oh wow.
I literally told Sean the other day, I'm so glad that people have finally figured out that I don't work for Fightful, because for so long, anytime I would get in an argument with somebody on Twitter, they would be like, oh, is Sean Rossap happy that he employs somebody like you? I'm like, well, he doesn't fucking employ me. So
The woman that got like super crazy outright thought you were my wife at one point.
oh yeah.
I was like, well, if you're gonna stalk me, you got to do a little bit better than that. You got to do a little bit
Maybe
better than
try
that.
a little harder.
Ain't that hard to figure out who I'm married to? But
We
yeah.
don't even live in the same state. So
don't
maybe
even live
try a
in the
little
same
harder.
state. My God.
Oh my god.
This is an eventful show. See, this is what happens when y'all go over time. It's all your fault.
Every
This is a
time.
2-hour show. We're way
I
under
just
time.
got on the show.
Yeah,
That you sent me the
Cher
link
wasn't even
5
on.
minutes
We
ago.
were telling stories from Revolution weekend and how I beat you in bubble hockey, and then you did not stick around for karaoke.
Okay,
Because it's too
I
long.
didn't stick around for karaoke. I was up to like 3 a.m. and I wish I would have, because I thought I was going to be like going to bed. But let's talk about how quickly I started to pick up that game, never
You
having
weren't-
played it.
Yes, you did good. You still lost 5-2, but
I mean, one of those doesn't count because it was an own goal. It
I
doesn't
did see
count.
that one.
all the
I
same.
did see
It
that
still
one.
Yeah.
counts.
But that last one, like that was epic. That was for all the marbles, and I won.
No, I scored the last goal.
Nah, I don't remember that. Who are you gonna believe? Somebody who has reported thousands of stories and particularly personal information very recently,
Or some guy that they thought was Brian Alvarez.
or some guy that thought
Yeah,
was Brian
that's all-
Alvarez.
That's
Even
what
though his
I was
ID
mistaken.
Even though his ID that he had to hand to this person
Yeah.
absolutely said Jeremy Lambert on the front of it.
God.
Brian Alvarez. Denise Salcedo almost got into a fight with a hostess. We'll
it was
you know,
great.
exaggerate this a little bit. Yeah,
I
we're
don't
waiting
see Denise
to.
getting in a fight with anyone, so I'm.
Oh,
very much
Denise is
looking
ready
forward
for people to break into her house so
Yes.
she can fight them and
Oh.
become, Netflix famous and stuff. Denise,
Listen, as someone who has stayed in multiple Airbnbs with Denise, at no point is she ready for someone to break in.
so
At
Denise,
no point.
We're waiting for we go out to dinner, myself, Sean, and Denise, and they're like, oh, it's gonna be like a 35-minute wait. Sean and I both heard 35-minute wait. We're like, okay,
Yes.
we'll wait for 35 minutes. We go outside, we meet Denise and everything. It's been about like 20 minutes or so. And Denise is like, I wonder how long it's been. I was like, Denise, it's been about 20 minutes. She's like, I'm gonna go check. So Denise walks in and Denise goes, how long has it been? And the hostess looks at her and it's like, it's been 18 minutes. And then Denise is like, oh, okay. Well, how
No,
much
you
longer?
said she said it was 20 minutes. Denise told them it was 20 minutes, and then they said, no, actually it was 18.
No, they were just like, it's been 18 minutes. And then, so then she's like, oh, okay, how much? And then the host is like, I told them 40. And so Denise comes back out and says, it's like, no, we were both told 35. Multiple sources say it was 35 minutes. And Denise is like, I even saw it on the paper. It was written down as 40. I was like, yeah, they saw you walking in, just added 5 minutes to our time. They're like, nope, she's going to come in here and yell at us. So we're going to mark down 40, even though we were told 35. We ended up waiting for like about 50 minutes by the time it was all said and done. It was really good food though. Like it was worth it. It was a very good burger.
An outstanding place to eat there. It was great.
It was Hops Burgers if you're ever in Greensboro.
They didn't pay us shit. Don't promote them.
Well,
Not only did they not give us a discount, they added time on.
Yeah, that's true.
So why are we promoting them?
It was good. I'll put over good food,
Oh my god. But yeah, over on Fightful Select, if you guys get tired of me exposing social security numbers and shit on this show. I'm going to be dropping some mothers' maiden names, first people lived on, name of people's second pets over on that show momentarily. I'm going to do a birth certificate reveal of SP3.
What does SP3 really mean on Fightful Select right now?
What does that really mean? Like, shit. Just 2 days ago, I said I'd love somebody to post some evidence of me actually doxing somebody. Well, shit. I'll catch you guys later. I'm doing an AEW Revolution review and backstage report. Bye.
Later, Sean.
Bye, Sean.
That
was the most unhinged thing that's ever happened on this show.
He was more red than you were, and it was hilarious.
He said it, and I'm just like, is that?
Sean says a lot of things. People can't take any credence into what he says.
I was like, is he for real?
Yeah. I was like, huh?
I was on the phone before Sunday morning before the pay-per-view. As soon as Will Washington woke up, he called me. I'm like, don't you have a job? Don't you have something you're supposed to be doing today? We were on the phone for 2 hours. And we're talking. As soon as I get off the phone, Sean had messaged me and he was like, I'm bored. And I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. He said, what are you doing? And I said, I just got off the phone with Will. And he was like, give me scoops. I want scoops. I'm like, I have nothing to tell you. I don't know what. Nothing. You get no information. I'm sorry.
We'll say about St. Louis, Cher Delaware. Like to come with the wife, and then we can I
told you guys beforehand that it was going to happen, even though you sang Creed without me.
So this is not our fault that the machine broke, and SP3 can confirm. We're like, we gotta sing Creed in honor of Cher Delaware. I told him that. He agreed. Like I don't know how bad my internet. Yes. So we did not give you a public shout out. Maybe we should have. We're sorry. But we did. We wanted to do Creed in your honor.
The only reason I knew you guys were singing it was because Caden sent me a video and I was like, those bastards.
Well, Haley or Kylie was posting videos publicly anyways. Like that's
I hadn't been on Twitter, so I didn't see like any of that stuff. I just got the message from him, so I checked it and I was like,
So Caden
Man.
ratted us out.
Then I tried to
Ratted
disown
us
you guys. I
out.
tried to leave our group chat. Like I was out.
All we get is a message: traitors in all
Yeah,
capital
that was the
letters.
first message. Oh, the message just says traitor singing Creed without me. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, so everybody should come to St. Louis on 421. We have fun karaoke bars in St. Louis. I have posted on Twitter that everybody needs to come to the Cardinals game that Sunday. It's a day game. Sundays are usually always day games. But there's not a lot to do in St. Louis during the day. You can do that. And then there's they're doing a giveaway of these awful Fredbird hats that are like fuzzy and they've got like long legs. I said, we all just need to go to the Cardinals game and then wear those stupid fucking hats to the pay-per-view. And then they'll be like, oh, those are the idiots that were at the game today. Because they're absolutely going to lose to the Brewers. I mean, that's 100%. Sonny Gray already got hurt. He's not even going to be able to pitch on opening day. Like, the season's going well and it's not started yet. So, but yeah, I'm excited. As soon as Will Washington told me it was happening, I booked my hotel. Because I am not driving home. Everybody's like, can I stay with you? I don't actually live in Missouri, let alone St. Louis. So
I'm waiting for that when they officially announce SummerSlam in Cleveland. I'm waiting for, you guys have no, we have 12 kids. What do you mean?
I know. No.
Absolutely not. You're not staying here.
The Airbnb that we stayed at when we came to your wedding was very nice. People should book that Airbnb.
But yeah, we had a nice Airbnb.
I mean, that's still like 40 minutes away. Like we're roughly 40 minutes away from Cleveland. So
I will tell everyone, St. Louis, they have the metro. The metro does not stop anywhere near SLU, which is where Chaffetz Arena is. It's part of the college.
how far is this?
I mean, you can do Ubers.
I think my friend.
Stacking might be going because he's in Chicago.
He's Chicago, yeah. Yeah, you can do Ubers. If it's possible, I'm gonna be driving, obviously. I suggest trying to ride with people because trying to get an Uber at SLU after a show is insane. So, and parking's like $20, so it's not that bad. And like I always park directly. We were just there like last month. We went to the Collision that was there. I took my kids. So that's the place that they always run every time they go to St. Louis. As soon as Will told me, he was like, yeah, we're doing St. Louis. And I was like, is it at Chaffetz again? Because it's not a very big arena. And I was really hoping, I knew that they weren't going to do the Dome. The Dome's way too big. The Dome's where the freaking sign caught on fire for Rumble a few years ago. But I didn't think that they would be able to do Enterprise because that's where WWE runs. And that's it. That's all we got. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's at Chaffetz. But I'm really excited for everybody to come visit me. This is 10 days before my birthday, so everybody should come see me.
Visit Cher.
And if you don't come to that, then I better see people in Vegas, because I'm going to that too.
Oh. I won't be doing that.
Those are like my only two things.
I'll see everybody in Cleveland.
I'll see everybody at Forbidden Door, and maybe I might make my way back to the UK for All In.
I will not see everyone at Forbidden Door, and I also don't have a passport, so I will not see everyone in the UK.
We're all just going to different events where we're never going to actually have like the meetup because everybody's just going to different events.
I might.
Look at this. It's probably only going to be Cast that comes out for Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Cast.
SummerSlam is going to be iffy for me, but since that's a drive, I might be able to take my kids to that. I'm not taking them to the one in St. Louis because it is on a school night. So
yeah, AEW's got to run Saturday pay-per-views.
As we had this conversation the other day. Thank you, CM Punk.
Yes.
These Sunday ones kill me. That's how I felt. Yeah. I was so tired. When I got off work yesterday, I took a 3-hour nap because I was so tired from staying up from watching Sting's last match. And then once it was over, I couldn't fall asleep because of all the adrenaline from watching the match and everything. Yeah. And I'm like, God, I gotta be up at 4:45. Like, I hate Sunday pay-per-views so much. I wish they were all on Saturday.
I didn't go to sleep until maybe 4:30 that night because I was still amped up from watching that show and stuff and hanging out with my friends. So
yeah.
See, that's where the the cast gummies helped because like I took them after, and
Yeah.
then I was like, these will help
man.
me sleep.
Yo, you was out. I know you was out.
So I took it and then I fell asleep about 3, but like I wanted to be up and get on the road as quickly as I could. I still woke up at like 7:30 because like just my internal body was like, I want to get up and I just want to be home. So I was still up at like 7:30. Then I drove 7 hours and got home. But like this will at least help with me sleeping. So that is why oh no. Oh.
Hold on really quickly. I just got this in. Cher Delaware's phone number is 1-618.
Can't take him nowhere.
Oh my god.
We've got 2 episodes of Love is Blind. We're not gonna play Too Hot to Handle because we spent a lot of time on.
Do you want to do Love is Blind or do you want to do it next week since we've only got one for next week?
Oh
yeah, we might as well actually. Like
I'm laughing at Andrew Zarian saying Cher can definitely fight. The hair is up in a bun. Classic I'm gonna fight you look.
Okay, so
yes,
you wanna...
and Cass said when you said the Metro, I think that's why he put that in the chat because I made the look like, what's the Metro? It's called trains.
It's called the Metro Link though in St. Louis. Like that's what
okay,
I know.
So
New Yorkers they call it the subway, and I'm like, it's the train.
I call it the train in New York, but like everybody here, it's the Metro Link. Like I don't. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, I've heard all this type of. I've been in San Francisco. They call their whole line a different line. Chicago calls their line a different line. I'm like, it's all trains.
I did want to say when you guys were, I was watching the show, so I was watching you guys talk about this, and Jeremy was talking about the True Heel Heat crew making him feel like so welcomed and everything. We hung out in Chicago. So they were my bodyguards when we went everywhere. I was just walking around with all these guys behind me. But yeah, it was the same thing. They came to the Airbnb and I drove in and then we took Ubers and everything because I would have been by myself otherwise because the people that I did sit with at the show didn't get there until like that day. So yeah, same thing.
We literally just call Cher sis in the chat now. I told him I was like, yo, sis gonna be out there in St. Louis. He's like, oh, Cher? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's they gotta come. I mean, I can get the karaoke bars. That's when we were there for Rumble. I drove around Sean and our friend Corey, and they were like, we are so glad that we have you to drive us around because Corey had driven in from Lexington, but he was like, I don't know my way around this city. And there's so many one-way roads and everything. And I'm like, yeah, this is the one place where I'm like, I know this place like the back of my hand. So I'm just driving through everywhere because St. Louis it can be very confusing to get around.
Not bad.
So with Love is Blind, do y'all want to just wait?
We won't do the show breakdown. We won't do episodes breakdown.
Okay, let's do
the episode breakdown next week, but we could just do random thoughts now.
No,
yeah.
Well, okay, but let's on random thoughts. Let's do predictions of who
gets married because
tomorrow.
that'll be the episodes tomorrow.
Yeah. So let's do predictions on who we actually think gets married.
So we did see the Jeremy Laura breakup. We went over that last week, and it was official this week. Jeremy is a piece of shit.
Oh my! I have never been so mad watching a reality show. Like watching
everybody who has been watching it was messaging me like, "This man sucks." But obviously, we know they're done. They don't even have the other two on the show anymore. The preacher,
Brittany and
Brittany.
Yeah, they're just gone. They're just gone.
Yeah, they didn't come to the cookout at all. We were like, oh shit, they weren't even going here.
They're out. They're not even around. I don't think that AD and Clay are going to get married. What about you guys?
Really? I think they are.
I think that AD is what Clay needs. I think that AD should run as far away as possible, but she seems turned on by the fact that he needs her this bad. So I think they're both going to say yes. And
I think they
probably won't be together by the reunion.
Yeah. I think if they do get married, they'll already have been split up because they're just, I mean, like I said last week, he's literally just warning her, I'm going to cheat on you.
Yeah.
It's a matter of
Yeah.
time, but I'm going to cheat on
It's
you.
it's like they don't have any other type of conversations at this
Mhm.
point. Like I literally am messaging y'all as I'm watching the show. I'm like, it's like different levels of I ain't shit. Like
Yeah.
it's just like this is I ain't shit. I'm gonna cheat. I ain't shit. I might say no at the altar. I ain't shit. So please don't leave me. Like it's like different levels of it over and
Mhm.
over again. The only helpful conversation that they have had so far was with her mother, where AD's mother, you can see a lot of AD in her mom, where she was like, oh, but you can't worry about, there was a lot of good in those 24 years that your father was cheating on your mother. There was a lot of good stuff in there. Too.
Yes.
but that he needed to hear that because there is two sides to all these marriages. He is only focusing on the bad side and making that his crutch, and he needed someone older than him to be like, no, there is much more to that relationship.
Your mom wouldn't have stayed past year 7 knowing he was cheating on her the whole time if there wasn't other things going on as well. Yes, but also I don't even know that they have anything in common other than being physically attracted to one another.
Yes,
like
that's all she kept talking about to her mom. She was like, isn't he so cute? Isn't he so handsome?
Yes, all he cares about is that she has a nice body and that he thinks that she's hot, and it's the same thing. I'm like, you are never going to have any depth to a relationship because this is all that you care about is the physical attraction, and like he'll still cheat on you even if he's just physically attracted to you. So yeah, those two long term, no way. There's no way that they would last long term.
Yeah.
So then let's see, next up we have the couple who should have broken up on the episodes last week. These freaking idiots.
The Jedi mind trick that Chelsea did on Jimmy. Oh my God. It's one of the it's one of the all-time. It's one of the all-time okie dokes I think I've ever seen.
Everyone always talks about men doing what's the word I'm looking for? Not blackmailing.
Manipulating?
Gaslighting?
Yeah, like manipulating, but gaslighting, yes.
Oh yeah.
Everyone always talks about like men who gaslight, especially on this show. We see a lot of men gaslighting. She might be yes.
Yeah.
She might be the like most top tier gaslighter I have ever seen in my life. And I was married to a gaslighter.
I'm sorry, but Jeremy Jeremy was mad at Laura. He was mad at Laura for being mad that he cheated on her. Oh my God. Like, I have never in my life did I think that I could see that mental gymnastics. Oh, she responded to me so meanly. So why would I fight for that?
After he'd already told Sarah Ann that he was ending it and was gonna get with her. I'm like, okay. But I mean, like, Jimmy's falling into the trap every time. And I'm like, what's happening here? I don't understand. Also, apparently, she has said in an interview since the show, he told her he looks like Christian McCaffrey from the 49ers.
Oh.
Are these people blind? I know the show is Love is Blind, but he does not at all. And like, I'm like, oh my God. But those two are so toxic. Watching, first off, that fight lasted so long. And I kept being like, okay, it's almost over. And then they'd keep going. And then almost over. And I was getting so angry. Like I was the person in the fight being gaslit. And then she's like crying. Like, how dare you leave me? And he's saying, like, that's not acceptable. And she's like, what you did wasn't acceptable. Bitch, what did he do? Like,
yes, the fun part was like, we both did some things that we should apologize for. We're both in the wrong. Like, I don't know quite what he did that you didn't provoke at him, honestly.
And like, couples have arguments. I mean, that's just, it happens. But yeah, I said this to you guys, and I've said it to other people that I talked about watching it. When she brought up something he explicitly asked her not to bring up in front of the cameras, And he told her this because he wanted to be honest with her and be open that he had slept with one of his friends who we had already knew.
Yeah.
We all knew that.
Yeah.
I think he slept with both of them, but like he told her explicitly, I don't want this brought up in front of the cameras. I don't want her to get embarrassed. Okay. She brings it up, and then he, like, the look on his face, like the betrayal. And then he's like, I asked you not to talk about it. And she says, I don't give a fuck. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about what you want. She doesn't care about your feelings. She doesn't care about your friends. Like, she does not care at all. Everything is about her. And I laughed because Mrs. Jeremy messaged me when you guys were watching it last week, and she was like, your friends that say that she's really nice, are they sure? Like, and I'm like, I'm starting to question it because, and I mean, some people are so nice to other people that they just are toxic in a relationship. So I see that as well, but she's too insecure to be in a relationship. That's what almost all of her problems are from, is that her insecurity. She was mad because he went out for his friends. He was gone for what, 3 hours? Girl,
it takes like 30 minutes to get there. So
yeah,
he was
like,
gone
he's gone
for
2
about an
hours.
hour,
He's out for like 2 hours, he said.
and he invited her.
then she said, oh, someone from the pod saw you hanging out. And she was like, who's like, who? And she literally did not know. She literally just randomly said a name. She said Mackenzie.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't even know what Mackenzie looks like. Like, how the fuck does Mackenzie know what he looks like? The show is Love is Blind. Like,
and then she said, oh yeah, she said you were hanging out with Jess. He was like, I haven't never hang out with Jess. Like, she kept going to different things,
trying to like catch him in something, and that should have been it. They should have ended it right there. The fact that he is still with her.
Okay, so do we think?
That's what I was just going to say. There's no way that they last if they get married. But at this point, I think that they might get married.
Me too.
I kind of think they're going to get married just based on I think she wants the acceptance, definitely.
Yeah.
I think he's almost afraid to say no.
You could tell from that whole when she was able to pull the Okie joke on him. I was like, oh, he's scared to what's going to happen to her if he breaks up with her.
He tried to stand up for himself, and she turned it around and made herself the victim again. And he just, it's like he's stuck.
Yeah.
I really think that they might actually get married. I don't think that they would last at any length of time, but I really think that they might actually get, and I'm like, I hope not. I hope for both of their sakes, because she needs a lot of actual therapy and work on herself, because I mean, she's 31. Like, I'm almost 31. I can't imagine acting like that, especially putting my issues on somebody else that way too. It's insane. Just watching it, I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand how he's falling for this. Like, I was so confused by the time it was over with. Like, the whole thing, just insane. And then we have the only good couple.
The only normal ones.
I think that they're gonna get married.
Oh yeah.
Their only holdup is just, sex and having a kid.
The ability to wear protection. It seems to be his only obstacle.
And it seems like he's at least kind of coming around and figuring out what it all entails. And okay, just wear a condom, dude.
You're like, dude, it's not that difficult. What are we talking about?
Well, and I saw people, I had to leave the Facebook groups that I was in that talk about Love is Blind, because those people are insane. I told you guys, they kept calling Jess ugly, and I was getting like personally offended that they were calling Jess ugly.
Because they're blind.
But yeah, they're like, she looks so fake. She's got fillers. I'm like, okay, look at this line up on this show. So do all of them.
And I'm sorry, I've seen some interviews from Jimmy where he's like, oh, Jess is conceited. Oh, I didn't need my EpiPen when I met her. Dude, your jaw was on the ground.
Yeah.
The camera caught you staring mad times.
Yeah.
Mad times.
People just really want to dislike Jess because she's pretty. And there's like a lot of women, once again, project their insecurities. And so when they find someone is more attractive than they think that they are, they just dislike them immediately. And so that's obviously what it is, because it's been almost all women hating on her on there. But I'm like, okay, whatever. She doesn't care. Like,
Yeah,
she does
exactly.
not care at all. But people on there were talking about how, so the deal with Amy is she has like a blood clotting issue or something like that. And that's part of the reason that she doesn't want to be on birth control, which I understand. And somebody was like, well, I have the same thing, and there's a couple birth controls that are safe. She could just get on it. There's other issues that birth control can cause. And somebody was like, well, does she not know that condoms are not 100% effective? Neither is birth control. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm the perfect example. My wife was on birth control. I had twins. So how that math work?
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's just the way that it is. Like, if she freaking gets sick and throws up a pill one day, she could get pregnant. If she's on an antibiotic, there's certain ones that don't work with an antibiotic. Like, it's just that whole argument. It was like they wanted to find something for them to have a disagreement about, because everybody else was fighting, and they're like,
yeah.
We're going to talk about your sex life. That's what it's going to be. And I'm like, okay, well, this is weird. I think that they'll get married, but I don't know if they would stay married past a few years. I don't see them being like the Cameron and Lauren.
Oh, okay.
Who also I feel very bad for, because they do not have children. I don't think that they want to have children. Every single time they post anything on their Instagrams, it's people commenting, when are you going to have babies? When is that any of your business if they want to have babies or not? Like,
people are very
intrusive. So strange. Yes, very intrusive. But I do think that those two will get married. They have the best shot out of any of the couples on this season. 100%.
Most definitely. It's not even close.
Yeah, I think they're going to get married. Oh, that means we've called all right. Somebody's definitely getting.
I said AD and Clay wouldn't get married.
Okay.
I mean, if I had to pick one that would say no at the altar, it would be AD and Clay. I feel like Clay is going to feel like he's losing the best thing of his life, so he'll feel pressured into saying yes. But I think AD will finally be listening to all the red flags and warnings at the time when she's asked and say no. I think that would be the twist of it, because everybody would think Clay would be the one to say no, but it's going to be AD.
I think that it'll be AD too. I think that maybe because like we did see their wedding dress shopping, which was so boring. That was so uninteresting.
But man, AD was wearing them dresses, girl.
She was. But I think having her sisters there and everything, she might open her eyes a little bit. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'm
convinced, by the way, on the when they did all the shopping and stuff, and Jimmy had his like two guy friends, like they just paid people. They paid two people to come hang out with Jimmy. They didn't know a thing about him. They're like, good luck, dude. Like,
we're from South Carolina.
Yeah. These two men are hired actors to be his friends, because he ain't got no guy friends.
He got no guy friends.
No. Mrs. Jeremy just messaged me, and she said the same thing I said when the argument was happening. She was so mad that she was forced to be on Jimmy's side. That's how I felt. I'm like, you know you're in the wrong, when I'm like, Jimmy's right here. Like, that was 100% how I felt.
We will have our big review of the big finale next week ahead of the reunion as well, which is, hopefully everybody shows up to this.
Which is always a catch-22 with Love is Blind.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so.
SP3, you want to plug anything?
I should be live 1:05 p.m. Eastern time over on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, reviewing last night's Monday Night Raw. Yes, I finally did watch it, and I'm still annoyed by that opening segment. So yes, I'll be talking about how annoyed I am at 1:05 p.m. Eastern time. So check it out. And True Hill SP3 on Twitter and all that good stuff.
I didn't know if Cher was going to explain why she just popped.
I was laughing at him.
Oh, okay. You're looking down. I thought someone sent you a message.
Well, yes, I have people texting me, but that's not why I was laughing. I was laughing at SP3.
He really said diarrhea Dwayne, yo. Like, he should not be in this anymore. Like, get away. Like, no. We don't need this uncool lame shit. No.
I think Dwayne came up with that.
Like, I'm very annoyed by that.
100% think Dwayne's writer told him to say diarrhea Dwayne.
I kind of think so too.
I kind of think that Seth don't got it like that. He can't compete.
Listen, do you know how funny it was to me that everybody was talking about how that was like the promo of his career when we couldn't fucking see or hear half of it because of it being muted on Fox? I'm like, what promo? Like,
I watched the fight version, or UK version. I watched that.
See, I watched it the day after when it was all up on YouTube. I just watched the YouTube version, so that was clean. I absolutely loved
Meth Head Mary.
Oh my god,
he was so proud of himself with that too.
It's not the best promo of his career, but it is up there because oh my god,
his delivery. I'm like, now go home and smoke some crack. If you smell.
My favorite part of all of it is him wearing shirts that he wore then. Like, that is the best touch of all of it, is the freaking $10,000 shirts and shit that he's coming out in every time. I just don't have any interest in promos that sound like they were cut from a 2002 Raw.
Hey, I prefer that over Diarrhea Dwayne.
I mean, I didn't hear that because I didn't watch Monday Night Raw.
You did the right thing. I should. You
know what we watched last night? Sting's last match again.
I should have just watched it over again. I'm like, that's what Kelvin messaged me. He's like, I'm watching Osprey and Takeshita again. He's like, you messaged me. I should have just done that because I'm like watching Raw. I had to tweet out. I was like, I feel numb. I was like, it might be because I went to Revolution, or it might be because this is not the best show from Raw. Raw is usually a really good show, and it doesn't feel like that last night to me.
I've not rewatched anything from Revolution. I do want to rewatch Sting's last match though, and just see how it came across on television, because live is obviously really fun. We do have a couple super chats that I did not hit. Louis just sent money, which I'm pretty sure this was during the portion of when I was Brian Alvarez, so I assume that's
your Brian Alvarez fun.
I missed that part. Can you explain that to me?
Oh my gosh. So we went when we went to the bar. Sean, we show ID to the people. Sean gives his ID to the person, and as SP3 explained previously, this dude was a wrestling fan. He's a big wrestling fan. So he's like, Sean Ross Sapp. I know Sean Ross Sapp, and Sean's like, oh really? Do you? And he's like, yeah, you're a dirt sheet guy. And he's like, oh, I like to think I do. And he's like, I'm just kidding with you. Like, I really enjoy your work. Like, I appreciate what you do and everything. He's like, oh, okay, thanks. And Sean's like, this guy over here, he's also a dirt sheet guy. He's right there with me. And he looks over at me. He's like, Brian Alvarez?
At least it wasn't Meltzer.
Yeah, then he was just dating me as like old, which I mean,
but also now I'm picturing you. You remember when Alvarez came back from his cruise and he had his hair in the fucking braids? That's how I'm picturing you now.
That owns.
Andrew Zarian also sent us money for Cher's fight bun. There you go.
Indeed.
Hair up, square.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That money goes straight to the punching Sean Ross Sapp in the face fund.
All right, everybody. We'll be back next week. We should be able to get back to Too Hot to Handle next week. until we spend like 3 hours talking about the Love Is Blind and the weddings.
Yeah,
didn't
that will be
happen.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
That's true.
no NBA next week. Warning. Fair
Yeah.
warning.
All right. Appreciate everybody. We'll talk to y'all next week. I don't plug anything. Bye, everyone.